Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're at the Georgia Gun Club's 100-yard indoor rifle range. A while back, I was having standard deviations on my 223 in the 20s and 30s, and someone said to me, you need to get Lapua brass. This range pickup brass is the reason why you're having these variations in the standard deviation. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a 69 grain Sierra tipped Match King bullet, and I've loaded these with 22.5 grains of Varget powder, and we will see how these perform. I'll be comparing some mixed brass that I picked up on the range. These have all been sized and processed similarly. They have the same powder, the same primer, the same charge, and the same bullet. The only difference is mixed brass versus Lapua brass. So we're going to be shooting these at 100 yards to see how they perform. As always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can skip forward to the results that follow. Shooting at 100 yards. All right, I think there's a clear and distinct difference between these two, so let's bring them in and take a look. All right, so this was our fouling group. Our first shot was up here. Our last three were right here. So after this, we made no adjustments to the scope, and we shot the rest of our groups here. This is with mixed range brass, and this is with Lapua. This has been numerously times fired, probably 10, 12, 15 times, I don't know, but it still performs definitely better than the mixed range brass. So we will take these home, measure these with the Hornady Ballistics app, and get back to you with the results. So stay tuned. All right, I'm back from the range, and I've had a chance to measure my targets and analyze the results. So we started off with the fouling group here. That was my first shot, my second shot. My last three shots were right here. So after that, I made no adjustment to the scope, and I shot the rest of the groups at that setting. Kind of interesting here, what we're doing is we're comparing range pickup or mixed head stamp brass against quality brass, in this case, Lapua. And so what somebody had said to me before was that in order to get my standard deviations down, I needed to move away from the mixed head stamp brass and start using quality premium brass. So I tried that and didn't exactly get that result, but we did have a difference in performance here. Now on the mixed range brass, I prepped those the way I normally do with the press. I have the Hornady reloading dies, and I sized those as normal using the expander ball that came with the die set. And so I don't know what the neck tension was on those, but I do know that on the Lapua brass, I had the neck tension on those set at 2.5 thousandths. So that's one difference. Otherwise, the brass is prepped the same way, same powder charge, same bullet, same primer. Everything else is the same. So with the mixed head stamp brass, we had 15 shots here, and we had a group size of 1.4 inches with a mean radius of 0.36. we had an average velocity of 2,570 feet per second and a standard deviation of 27.5 feet per second. Not bad performance, but anytime you shoot a larger number of shots, you could expect those groups to open up. So 1.40 is not terribly bad, and that's primarily due to 2 flyers that we had on the extreme outside. But when you look at all of the shots, we have a mean radius of 0.36, which a radius is half of a circle. So if you double that, that would give you an average group size of 0.72 inches. When we come to the Lapua brass, you can immediately see a difference in the group. We've got an extreme spread on the group size of 0.9 inches, so it's a full half-inch smaller group size, and we have a mean radius of 0.27, which doubled would give you an average group size of 0.54. What's interesting here is that on 15 shots with the same powder charge, same bullet, same primer, we had an average velocity that was 2,644 feet per second compared to 2,570. So it was fully 74 feet per second faster on average for 15 shots than the mixed head stamp brass. And that may have something to do with the 2.5 thousandths of neck tension that's there, may have made it more consistent. I'm not sure. But what's really fascinating here to me is that on the standard deviation with the mixed head stamp brass, we had a standard deviation of 27.5. With the Lapua brass, we had a standard deviation of 27.5. And that was the problem that the Lapua brass was supposed to fix. Yet we have the exact same standard deviation, even though we have a 74 foot per second difference in velocity. So I'm going to have to say that the Lapua brass definitely outperforms the mixed head stamp. That's probably no surprise to many of you, but it's one of those things that if you don't put it to the test, you never really know. All right, those are my results. I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, suggestions, please leave those in the comments below. I hope you will also like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.